Saint Moses the Ethiopian.
Of Saint Moses the Black.
Abba
Saint Moses the Ethiopian.
Is known by many names: Moses the Black, Moses the Abyssinian, Moses the Ethiopian, Moses the Robber, and Moses the Strong. Welcome to AfriGod. Today we tell the life of a remarkable desert father, Saint Moses the Black, a 4th century son of Africa whose passage from violent outlaw to humble abbot and martyr remains a vivid testimony to repentance, endurance, and the healing power of Christ. Before he became a monk, Moses served in the household of an Egyptian official. When he was suspected of theft and murder, the official dismissed him. Cast out and without direction, he became effectively a runaway with no lawful shelter. He turned to the deserts and soon rose as the leader of bands of robbers who prized the Nile and Upper Egypt. Tall, broad, and formidable, he could eat a whole sheep and drink a skin of wine in a sitting. His presence inspired fear. Yet even amid violence, a strange longing lived within him. At times he looked up to the sun and challenged it. "O sun, if you are God, speak to me." While in secret he prayed, "O God, whom I know not, make me know you." That private plea prepared the soil for transformation. Fleeing pursuit one night, he found refuge at the monastic settlement of Scete. There he met Father Isidore, Father Macarius, and other elders whose quiet life of prayer and simplicity shone like a lamp against the shadow of his past actions. Confronted by their peace, he felt the crushing weight of his own sin and begged to be taught. Under patient instruction, he was baptized and entered the monastic life. Conversion for Moses the Black was not an instant unmaking of the past. Holiness for him was a long and often brutal training of the heart. For years he wrestled with former habits: gluttony, lust, anger, and deep rage. He confessed every temptation to his elders and accepted their correction. Progress came through repeated, humble struggle rather than a single dramatic event. One story of his past makes his change all the more astonishing. On one raid, a dog's barking foiled his plan. Enraged, he swam the Nile with his knife clenched between his teeth, stole the man's sheep, and fled when neighbors pursued him. These memories of violence heighten the spiritual magnitude of his repentance. Another telling episode captures both his danger and his repentance. While praying alone in the desert, he was attacked by thieves. Muscle memory and rage drove him to overpower them. Standing above the unconscious men, he realized with unbearable clarity that the very strength which had once served violence had no place now. He bound the men, carried them back to the monastery, and asked the brothers, "What shall be done?" The monks tended their wounds, forgave them, and by that mercy those very men, some of whom had once belonged to gangs he had led, were converted and joined the brotherhood. Moses the Black also endured grievous physical trials. Satan struck him with a severe illness that left him bedridden and lame for many months. Rather than despairing, he received his affliction with gratitude, for the assaults on the body were easier to bear than the assaults on the soul. Temptation no longer mired him as before. In long recovery, his spirit deepened. Father Isidore once led him to a rooftop before dawn and said, "As the rays of the sun take time to dispel the darkness of night, so also it takes time to become perfected." Moses the Black learned to embrace the patient, dawning work of grace. A decisive act of humility defines his pastoral stance. Once the community summoned Moses the Black to judge a brother who had fallen into sin. He arrived trailing sand from a basket on his shoulder. Asked why, he answered plainly, "My sins run out behind me, and I do not even see them. And here I am coming to judge my brother." The confession silenced the assembly, and judgment gave way to mercy. That single image, a man trailed by his own sins, remains a powerful admonition against hasty condemnation. The community recognized the integrity of his change. Though he resisted rank, Moses the Black was ordained a priest and later chosen as abbot by hundreds of brethren. He led by humility, example, and the short, decisive sayings that came from a man who had fought his own heart. He taught that true strength is not the power to take, but the power to give, that patience, not the sword, preserves life. Prophecy and destiny met at the end of his life. Father Macarius had foretold that one among the brethren would receive the crown of martyrdom. When raiders surrounded the monastery, Father Moses the Black told the brothers to flee while he remained. "It is fitting for me," he said. "I was a violent man. If I die by violence, let it be I who remain." 7 brothers chose to stay with him. They were slain beside him. Witnesses later reported visions of angels holding crowns. His body was interred at Debre Badremos in the desert of Scete, and many miracles were reported through his relics. For the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church and for Christians across traditions, St. Moses the Black stands as a living sermon. He demonstrates the power of repentance. A robber, murderer, fornicator, and thief was remade into a father, teacher, priest, and abbot. He models perseverance. Holiness unfolds like the slow rays of dawn, rather than as a sudden flash. He embodies compassion. The man who trailed his sins like sand could not arrogantly judge another. May St. Moses' witness awaken in every heart the blessed confidence that no sinner is beyond God's mercy, and that through repentance and the Church, we are brought back into communion with Christ. From the deserts of Scete to the altars of our churches, St. Moses the Black testifies that genuine strength is found when force yields to grace. Christ is in our midst. Through the life, teaching, and martyrdom of St. Moses the Black, may God deepen our repentance and enlarge our compassion.